Because the man who is running now for APC does not even know half of what Buhari knows about government or national security. If you have the time, I will tell you more about what they are campaigning with as an agenda or as a rhetoric that he did well in Lagos. I will tell you, between 1999 to 2007, if you take out context, he actually performed worse than some governors in Nigeria, because the Lagos that they say he did, he improved the revenue, he only collected tax. All the infrastructure needed for a state or in fact a country to develop was on ground. Lagos used to be the Nigerian national capital. Before Nigeria was formed, Lagos was a colony. You have all the infrastructure for economic development. Asiwaju didn't establish them. There was seaport, there was airport, you have commercial activities, all the embassies are there. So transaction with foreign envoys is in Lagos. All the hotels are there, headquartered in Lagos. All the banks are headquartered in Lagos. All security apparatus, every facility and infrastructure for economic development was in Lagos. He didn't bring them. Asiwaju did not invite or introduce or brought to Lagos any serious foreign investor or domestic investor. And these revenues we are talking about that they claim he has generated, we are on. It's just that the government didn't have the infrastructure in collecting those. So what he did throughout this period was to collect tax. That's what they claim by revenue. And even then, the reason he did that was because the company that was collecting the tax, the company is allegedly traceable to him. So if you pick a man on the street and you tell him, I want you to collect tax in a given area, your percentage is 30%, he will be optimal. He will be highly effective. This is the summary. But let me tell you what he did in Lagos. One, he attempted to destroy democracy. He wanted to introduce what we call monarchical democracy, a democracy that is not reflected by the will and wishes of the people, but reflected by the choice of a man, and people should run around it. He introduced the concept in politics in Nigeria that we call take the queue, follow the queue. He was the only governor in Nigeria that during the period of 7 years, he has had to impeach his deputy governors 3 times and change them. He's the only politician in Nigeria that nobody wins under his tutelage unless the person is chained or positioned by him. You don't win by the popularity that you carry or because you have idea, but whether he has approved you. That is one. 2, the House of Assembly in Lagos throughout his period never had the independence. This is a man you say he promotes democracy. Never had the independence. In fact, when allegedly the drug conviction in Chicago was alleged, to have, happened, and then Gani Fawemi was all over the place that he should be checked, he should be probed, he should be prosecuted. The House of Assembly sat down. They had no business doing that. They said they cleared him. That they did a finding and they cleared him. On what premise? The same Festus Keyamo, who is the spokesman now, went to court around the time to challenge the decision of the House of Assembly. Do I now detour to tell you about Festus Keyamo and Lalong? I was in APC when I was canvassing for vote for Asiwaju. Lalong was doing Amechi, Festus Keyamo was doing Amechi. All the negative narrative that is built in the air against Asiwaju were pushed by Festus Keyamo. They don't believe in Asiwaju. They are just there on contract. Festus Keyamo was the one that peddled the idea that Asiwaju had Pakistan. Festus Keyamo was the one that peddled the idea that Asiwaju had baggages. The worst about Festus Keyamo was that he was even oscillating like a pendulum between the vice president and what do you call him, and Amechi. Suddenly, Festus Keyamo has come to talk about Asiwaju he didn't believe. The greatest mistake Asiwaju has made in constituting his campaign structure was to choose the people that did not and still don't believe in him. That is the tale of their presidential candidate.
Well, they also say that Atiku Abubakar also has baggages.
Like, I wish you can mention that, or I can help you to mention what they've been peddling, which we have debunked that. They said he is corrupt. What's the yardstick for measuring a corrupt person? In Nigerian law, indictment and conviction by a competent court. He has never been indicted. He has never been convicted. I need you to know, Obasanjo investigated Atiku more than any other person in the history of Nigeria. Ribadu at the time was all over the map, fetching evidence. Till Obasanjo left government, till successive government took over, until this present time, Atiku has never been invited by the EFCC. So it's a perception held by one man, but let's not trust it to him. When did Obasanjo begin the campaign that Atiku was corrupt? When Atiku foiled the plan for a 3rd time. So we have to look at context. Atiku does not have, but in contrast, Asiwaju has been investigated by EFCC, ICPC, the United States government. So even on the evidence of what they peddle, they don't have anything to say. They came to the issue of Atiku does not have executive power. That's a very important thing. That the governors are more experienced than him. I look at him and I laugh. Why? Because when Atiku was vice president and chairman of the economic committee or economic council, these governors come to him to take notes. Asiwaju came, took notes. Peter Obi came, took notes. But let me even escalate the argument further. Gani Faweyemi wrote an article titled Obasanjo the Absentee President. And in Gani's finding, which is a finding that he personally did because he took Obasanjo to court at the time, he came up with this finding that Obasanjo traveled in the first 3 years of the first term 93 times. And for these 93 times, he was away from Nigeria for 240 days. If you multiply 240 days by 30 days, that makes up a month, you have 8 months. For this period, he's been away for 8 months. Atiku Abubakar governed Nigeria as the commander-in-chief, because as an acting president, you're commander. Then they made an argument that, no, there was never a transmission of letters, so he was not acting president. Obasanjo in 2019 said, that's balderdash. I didn't consider it necessary to designate him as an acting president, because my understanding is that once the president is out, the vice president takes the full reins of power. And then look at what Atiku did during this period. This was the period that we introduced policies that opened up our Nigerian economy. Telecom was one. We established critical institutions of government that have now come to become the baseline for the growth and development of a free society.
And you believe that that can still continue from 2023?
He will do better. Imagine Atiku Abubakar at this stage that he didn't need to go to school, had to go to Anglia Ruskin University, an offshoot of Cambridge, to freshen up his mind and obtain a master's degree. The man is ready. When I was about joining him, I was invited to a meeting where experts were brought from abroad to teach his media team on media concept and how to run a campaign. Atiku believes that government should be run like a private enterprise. And let me give you what he meant by private enterprise. To look at it from the point of view of efficiency and effectiveness. The reason why you don't see strike in private universities, you see in public universities, is that in private universities, the people are paid their dues and there is a demand for them to produce, and if they don't, they are going to be fired. In public institutions, nepotism comes, tribalism comes, favoritism comes, the government is lacking behind like this, also not paying them and everything. So efficiency is not there. Atiku believes government should be. Why should a bank be more effective than a country? The banks are more effective posting profit than a country. As it stands, Nigeria today is worse than a man owning a shop in somewhere in Day. Because even the man owning a shop in Day posts a profit. He will tell you the profit margin is small. Nigeria is in debt. 27.7 trillion we are going to pay. They are even thinking about collecting more debt. They have resorted to taxing private citizens. Now I just heard yesterday that in Lagos or one other state they introduced, even parking a car wrongly in your house, you pay tax. Thinking of every conceivable way of extorting money.
And that will change with the PDP.
We have to change and do the right thing. I give you an example. I travel a lot. You go to England, you do not need to do a COVID test. Whether you go in or you go out. All the countries of the world are opening up economy. Because these COVID measures were put in place, those COVID measures put in place affected economies. So when they quickly realized that this COVID has come to stay with us forever, we might as well open up our economy. Do you know in Nigeria, if you are not vaccinated, you will pay for day 2 test and day 7 test, about 70-something thousand, private citizen. You travel not on the government money. They still have to tax you. They don't even do a follow-up to know whether you actually took the test. The fact that you bring the money. We even ask the question further, where is the money going to? It comes down to the issue of there is nobody to call them to account, because if the National Assembly calls, they will bluff them, call their bluff and go. So any government that does not post a profit, that government is a failure. I say that with every sense of responsibility.
My country people, fellow Nigerians, why is it that Tinubu regime does not implement their own budget? Have you asked yourself the question, why it be say since Tinubu come 2023, since they snatch it, grab it, run and enter, why be say Tinubu and the Affliction Progressive Congress, government of master strategy, why it be say they know they implement their own budget? Not forget, say budget is not just a document, it is a law. That is why they call it Appropriations Act. Why is it that they know they implement the budget? And not take my words for them. Listen to all the statements from the people inside the government where they stand on the Uri Buruku mandate 2027 and beyond. My people, Nigerians, take 2027 election seriously. Tinubu and APC, they run one of the most dangerous regimes in the history of leadership of any country. If you allow this affliction to last a day beyond May 29, 2027, my thoughts and prayers are with all of us. This is what happens when you allow lunatics to overrun the asylum, when you allow a bunch of invalids to destroy the lives of others. Listen to the senator from Borno State, Senator Mohammed Mungono, talking to the Minister for Finance. Just share this video if you can.
Where are these monies going to? This is my question. Why is budget not implemented? Because it is a breach of the law and it's an impeachable offense. It's the target of our revenue collection. It is inherently contradictory for government to woefully fail to implement the budget. Where are these revenue going to?
Why are they going to?
If the budget, for example, 2025 budget has not been implemented.
Really?
And we have to roll over 70% of 2025 to 2026. And that with the promise that 30% will be implemented before March. Up to March, even 30% was not implemented. National Assembly has to extend the lifespan of the budget up to September to allow government to implement just 30% component of 2025 budget. The issue of 2026 have not arisen completely. Has not arisen. Has not even started up initial. It has not even arisen. So, don't you think is it not contradictory? Or where are these revenues going to?
Where are the revenues going to? Every day you go here, they say custom recover this money. This one jam make about how many billion? This 1 billion. Yet they don't borrow, push us more than 200 trillion debt. Yet budget they never sponsor. They never fit finance budget, implement them. Do you know that they moved the 2025 budget into 2026? Said that between January to March, at least 30% they go implement them. As at this July, they never implement the 30%. The Godswill Akpabio led the most useless money point Tinubu daycare Senate. They move and grant waiver to move them up to September for them to implement just 30% of 2025 budget. That is, as we they talk, the 2026 oath. They never even talk about that. Because unfortunately, you allowed your National Assembly to become a den of unarmed robbers, packed with bunch of invalids. Listen to Tinubu in September of 2025.
Today I'm standing before you, I can brag. The revenue, we have met our target of revenue for the whole year. We met it in August.
We have met our revenue target. I can boast about it. As he talk for September, by December, former Minister for Finance, Wale Edu, go before National Assembly to defend and talk about the budget and the finance issue for the country. Here waiting Wale Edu talk.
2025, the estimate was 40 trillion naira. Okay. What we are going to get is roughly 10 trillion naira in terms of federal government's cash revenue.
So you wonder why Wale do not last as minister. Master strategy talk by September say we have met targets. In minister by December talk say we not even meet them, we not reach half. Now 10%, we now 10 million we reach. 10 billion out of the projected 40 billion. But not be there the team bad though. Now listen to the chairman of FIRS to explain what they even use the one way they get, what they take and they do.
I mentioned here today that we have 2024. We are in 2025, but you have 1 year revenue. Use it to manage 2-year budget. So even if you met the 1 year revenue, how will you hear the honorable minister say, I'm paying 2024. whereas you are taking 2025 revenue to pay 2024. So
even if you meet them, you are taking a 1 year revenue to service budget of another year, plus supplementary budget where they that year. Ani ori buruku lenshi. Oshi lenshi. Ori buruku mandate. Master strategy rede. Government kati. Government panti. Nigerians, my message to you. Go and get your PVC. Not about Peter Obio for our own lives. This government is not just bad government. It is a threat to our existence as a country. If this affliction lasts a day beyond 2027, get ready to vote and defend your vote. Tinubu can never win free and fair election. All of the money where you know see plus budget, now packaging ahead of 2027 to do the unthinkable. But the power of the people must be greater than the criminals in power. A bunch of nuisance destroying the lives of the people, stealing from you koro and telling you you can do nothing. My country people, can you not do anything to help yourself? APC ori buruku lenshi. Oshi lenshi. Make una see master strategy government, master strategy ori buruku, master strategy rede. My name is Peter for Nigeria.